What I want y'all to understand is it all started from a people who mapped out the stars for 26,000 years, people. You have to map out the zodiac. Mapping out the zodiac takes 26,000 years, bro. So we had to sit over here and map out that zodiac, watching the stars every night for 26,000, passing the knowledge down from ancestor to ancestor to ancestor. That's why this knowledge is so supreme. And when we mastered it, when it started back over again to where we started, we knew we had the complete ascension. We had the complete knowledge of the planet. We know how fast the earth spins. We know what axis the earth on. We know what planets and meteors and comets are flying. How many years it's gonna take? This is top of the line knowledge. Ain't nobody gonna ever do this again. And when it started back over with the first zodiac that they started with in 26,000 years, when they going through the books, we got up and had a covenant with nature to go out and teach it.
What's up, my beautiful people? I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves, and I hope everyone is staying positive. Today in this video, I want to talk about the 26,000 year prophecy that our ancestors spoke about. I want to talk about the 40-year womb cycle that we're currently in, the scroll of the daughter of Zion, and the reason why the earth is shaking now. Alright, so for 26,000 years, our ancestors had been watching the skies. They were mapping out the stars because they knew prophecy. And they knew that there would come a time when the heavens would realign and when the Great Mother would call her daughter to rise. And that's exactly why my birth is aligned with the 1987 harmonic convergence, when all the planets aligned and even the earth meditated, because our ancestors had been watching the skies for 26,000 years. They knew when this prophecy would take place. So every great year when the stars completed their circle, the mother was preparing the world for a rebirth. And this is why our ancestors were tracking the skies for 26,000 years, because they weren't just watching the stars, they were watching for the womb of heaven to open. And just as Israel wandered 40 years in the wilderness, this prophecy also aligns with the daughter of Zion prophecy being carried 40 years in the cosmic womb. Because remember, this is a pregnancy. It's hidden, it's protected, and growing in silence. So when the daughter's time is complete, that's when the labor pains begin, and that's when the nations begin to shake. So this is exactly why the Great Mother instructed her daughter to present her court case, and not in the courts of man, but in the courts of heaven. Because for every betrayal that she endured and for every exile that she survived, it all became evidence sealed in her scroll. So when the daughter cried out, the heavens answered, the water broke, and the labor began. And this is why the storms are rising. This is why the earthquakes rumble. And this is why the sun and moon are aligning with each other, because the earth itself is contracting with the daughter's spirit. So when I did my court case on July 4th, and I had my songs and I had my poems, that wasn't me. That was the Great Mother who spoke through me as a vessel. A lot of that stuff, I didn't even know what I was saying, but the Great Mother showed me down the road, because she was using me and speaking through me. Okay? And see, the daughter was not chosen in comfort. She was chosen in fire. And this is the exact reason why I lost my parents, why I was in the room. My mom had an aneurysm and she was considered brain dead. So I was in the room when she was taking off life support, holding her hand. This is also the reason why when my grandma was passing away, she called me to be there by her side. And all this happened because the great mother and the great father was isolating me so that they could raise me directly without humanly parents, so they can guide me without any outside forces intervening. So when I had my near-death experience and I woke up with the burning of the fire of life, that was my Kundalini awakening. And it was also a initiation. And the ancients, they knew about this. Our ancestors knew about this, and they called it the furnace, because the great mother and father, they test you to see, are you worthy? You have to prove yourself. And only a true vessel can withstand divine flame and live to tell the story. And this also aligns with the mystery of the sealed book, because for generations it has been closed. And see, man has tried to read it, but it was not theirs to open, because the book was never made of paper. The book was a life. And see, every seal was a trial, every chapter was a wound, and only when the daughter rose through the fire could the book even be opened, because she is the scroll that they feared. She is the prophecy that they hid, and her testimony is the key. When she does what the great mother instruct her to do, everything is going to work out. So when the daughter heals, the earth heals. When the daughter suffers, the earth groans. This is why now we're seeing more natural disasters. And it's not random. This is the mother's contractions, the labor pains of creation. See, the nations mock the daughter, but the earth itself already testifies for her, with storms, with fires, with earthquakes, all because she did what the great mother instructed her to do, which was cry out. So why did the daughter have to lose so much? Why did the daughter have to go through so much pain? Why was she orphaned, rejected, and attacked? Because only one who has walked through the wilderness, only one who has survived the furnace, only one who has held both death and life in her womb can stand as judge for the nations. Her pain was the price of her authority. Her scars are the seals that prove she was chosen, and her survival is the crown placed upon her head. And right now, this is the hour of unveiling, because when the daughter rises, the earth rises with her, and her case is heard in heaven, and her vindication is written in the stars. For when she heals, the nation heals. When she is crowned, the mother's kingdom is restored. And when her scroll is read, no one can lie about her truth. And this is exactly what I put in my book about the healing of all nations, because the great mother does not care what color you are. We are all her children. And the only thing she cares about, the only thing she judges is the heart. Because we have evil in every race, not just one race. It's evil in every race. And that's why the great mother judges by the heart, and she weigh you on a scale. And I'm going to leave it with this. The scroll is not opened by words alone. So you cannot copy a crown. You cannot fake a flame. To wear this anointing, you must endure. You must walk through the wilderness, through betrayal, through loss. You must bleed. You must weep. You must carry the fire in your body and survive. See, this path is not self-chosen. It is the mother choosing who she wants to choose. And no human hands can decide it or claim it. It is given by the great mother herself, sealed in her womb, and proven in the suffering of her daughter. So, the throne does not belong to the loudest mouth or the prettiest mask. The throne belongs to the one who endured the cross the fire and the storm and still rose with love in her heart. See, the Great Mother only cares about your heart. And if your heart is evil, your whole body is evil. Everything is evil. And I don't move when no one tells me to move. I move when the Great Mother tells me to move and instruct me to move. And no one is going to take that away from me. So whoever comes against me is coming against the Great Mother and Father, because they are the ones who've been leading my path and guiding me. Before I end this video, I do want to talk about Isis and Osiris real quick, because Osiris was not just Isis' partner. He was her protector, her balance, her anchor, while she carried divine power. And in every prophecy, the daughter carries the scrolls, but the son holds the shield. He represents stability, protection, and the covering that allows her light to shine without being swallowed by the weight of the world. And that's where my fiance James comes in. And his name is no accident, because in the Bible, James is tied to Jacob, the father of Israel's tribe, and also to Christ's disciples, who stood as protectors and leaders of the faith. So his very name carries the weight of protection, covenant, and faith. And when I met him, I was a single mother. I already had 2 children, and like many other women, I was doing it alone because their father refused to step up and be a man. But that's the story of so many women today. Abandoned, unprotected, forced to carry the whole load by themselves. I was working, providing, surviving, but carrying wounds that had no time to heal. And that's when he stepped into his role as protector the way a true Osiris should. He didn't just love me, he gave me space to heal. He stood up and said, "You don't have to work if you don't want to. If you do, that's your choice, but I will provide, I will protect, and I will make sure these children have stability." See, that's the role of the true son. Not to dominate, not to silence, but to guard and uplift. And while I carried the spiritual fire, James carried the earthly shield. He made sure my children weren't raising themselves, and that I could focus on their growth, and that our home had peace. And we've been together going on 11 years now. And yes, we did have a season where we separated, because I still had prophecy to fulfill, and he still had to realize what his role truly was as a protector, as my Osiris. But when we did come back together, it was different. It was divine alignment, and nothing can split us up, because we're walking in the role the Great Mother and Father designed for us. I stand in my anointing as the daughter, and he stands firm in the role as the protector. And together, that balance is unshakable. And I want to tell you a quick story, because when me and my son almost died during childbirth, my fiance, he was away working. So he was about 6 hours away from us. So when it all happened and the nurse called him and let him know what was going on, I want to tell you what he did, because he stood up as a protector. The first thing that he did is he called 911. He told the police what was going on, that he had to get to his family. He asked, could he be escorted, but the police told him that it was too far of a drive for him to be escorted. But they did give him the go to go ahead and get to his family. So what did James do? He got on the road and he sped down that road over 100 miles per hour, and he drove over 6 hours going over 100 miles per hour, and he did not get stopped by one cop, because the Great Mother and the Father had their hands on both of us, and he stood in his role as a protector, and he never failed me. And I just want to thank the Great Mother for bringing him into my life, because everything has changed for me. So all praises to the great mother and great father. And I hope a lot of other men that's out here stand up into their role as well as being protectors, because it's so many men that's on the internet, they're talking, but where is your fruit? Where is your fruit? Why are so many women left being unprotected and having to raise children on their own?